Okay, so we're seeing the bike on layer 1 now because we've deleted everything else apart from the bike, and we can also see layer 2, and if we delete everything apart from the bike on layer 2 we'll see the bike on layer 3. So let's create a layer mask for layer 2, and we can do that by going up to the adjustment layer again. We're just repeating the process we've done before, but repetition is a good way of learning. There's the mask, drag it under, hold the Alt key between the two layers just on the border there, click, and these are now attached. And then select the mask and Control I to invert it, and then that entire layer 2 becomes transparent. So what we need to do now is to just get a white brush and then bring back the bike on that transparent layer so that we can see 3 bikes together from 1, 2 and 3. Let's just do that to show you. There's the brush, there's the white, click on the mask and start to spray, and here comes our third bike. Now this is in the sky, so this is going to be easier to add to the scene. If you want to Control plus to zoom in, that will help you get a better look at the layer. And the great thing with masks, of course, is if you make a mistake, just press X to swap foreground and background around, and then you can hide it again. X again, just to bring this guy back. We've got to make sure the clouds look okay when we blend those in. Yep, that looks absolutely fine. So we're now seeing the bike on layer 1, layer 2 and on layer 3. Now let's just move this layers palette to the right here, and let's just hide layer 3 for the moment to see the bike on layer 4. And if I turn that layer on and off, it looks like the bikes are going to overlap, so we need to do a little bit of tweaking there and possibly move the bike on layer 4 around a little bit. So let's create a layer mask for layer 3. Do that quite quickly now because you've seen this already. Pop that down there, hold down Alt, Control I again, and now let's start to poke a hole in a layer 3 to reveal layer 4 with the brush tool. So let's just click and spray. So far so good, but there will be a slight problem with the overlap because the shutter speed was going very fast on the camera, and therefore we actually have caught the bike overlapping itself. So we need to move the bike on layer 4, and to do that click layer 4, press V to get the move tool, and then just bring the bike across. Now it's moving the sky, but don't worry too much about that because what we're going to do is now go and create a mask for layer 4 and mask out everything apart from the bike itself, because you can see down here you've got all sorts of problems with the background layer. You've got extra legs appearing, so we need to do a lot of masking on this particular layer. So to do that, again, levels adjustment layer, click OK, drag it below layer 4, hold down Alt, and it's worth showing you this one, Control I again, because this is what happens if you get a complicated section. Now get the brush tool again and start spraying back just the bit we want to keep from this bike here, and again we'll have to move layer 5 as well because there's still a bit of an overlap. I mean, it's almost working actually the way I've brought it back. You could press X and try and then hide parts of layer 4 just to reveal the bike on layer 5. So you do have a bit of an overlap. That's not necessarily a problem. So let's go to layer 5, create a new adjustment layer, click OK, pop it below. You get the picture now. Hold down the Alt key between the two layers, press and click, and then click on the mask, Control I to invert, and now we get that brush again. Let's just bring in this chap here. Now I think we're going to have to move him a little bit because it'd be nice to have the bikes separate, so I'll just spray over him for the moment fairly roughly, press V to get the move tool and just bring him down a little bit, and now you can see it's just the bike that we're showing now with a few clouds in the background. They're misaligned slightly, but it doesn't really matter because it's clouds. You can get away with that. Back to B for brush again. There's the brush tool selected, and then make sure if you make a mistake, Control Z. You've got to go back to the mask to carry on editing. Now we can spray, and there's our next bike in position, and also of course our bike on the layer below. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bikes showing up. We're all ready for bike number 7. let's create a final layer mask. Go to Levels, click OK, drag it below layer 6, hold down Alt and click between the two. Click the mask, Control I, and then we can finally poke a hole through layer 6 here and just reveal the bike on layer 6 with a white brush. And that should be our perfect multi-exposure sequence